All right, I'm doing a second take of this one because the airplane noise was too big, too much where I was. So if you saw that while I was up, I'll make the same thing. All right, so let's talk about questionnaires real quick. I'm going to do a little series on the 4 tendencies and how to use them in your writing and how to use them to keep your habits going. All right, got my little thing here. Stepped outside, it was really, really loud. There's a bit of an echo in here. So I think I'm learning how to not have too much sound. And my patch says, that's a terrible idea. What time? So let's make this one and remake it now. Because I just did a little bit more research and I want to make it better. So what is a questionnaire? A questionnaire is somebody who takes internal expectations. Like I put an expectation on you to actually do some work, or an expectation I keep for myself is that I'm going to film this video today. They keep that expectation, right? So they meet the expectation, right? They meet internal expectations and they do not meet external expectations unless it makes sense to them, right? So internal, I'm not telling anybody else, I'm just doing my internal process. External, somebody else puts this accountability piece on it. Externally, right? And this doesn't really work with a spouse or a partner because they're too close to you and they're kind of like your internal thoughts. You can try it, but I would advise you to not, right? That's kind of why we have accountability groups. The next one I'm probably going to do is going to be the obliger one, and then I'll do a longer rebel one. Rebels have the most interesting because nothing works for them that works for anybody else. But our number one thing here is clarity. So clarity of purpose, clarity of what you're doing, right? So to be clear, questioners have a problem with analysis paralysis. And analysis paralysis is when you are trying to do something, but you're like, I just need to know a little bit more information. And then you find yourself, after 2 months, having just a world build your world, making things that you're never going to use. And you haven't written a sentence. You haven't written a word of the actual dialogue or plot. We also call it world builder's disease in the specific problem. But I have a quote I got to pick up. But it's analysis paralysis can keep you in this loop of needing to do more research. I promise you that if you're looking at this video, you know enough, right? You think you don't know enough, and you're never gonna. But you have to think, when is the point at which I'm going to know enough that I will feel satisfied to write this? And I feel like, okay, I'll give myself 1 more hour to do this research, this world building, and then I'm going to do it, right? But it has to make sense to you. So the clarity piece is, it's clear to you that you should be doing this, and no one else can hold you to that, right? It has to make sense to you. So that's a big thing. So get clarity on what it is that you want to do. If you actually want to write a book, you can't be world building the whole time. I don't do a lot of world building. I just, as I go, I add some world building elements where it makes sense. But I'm writing contemporary urban fantasy right now. That's right, because I finished my last book. The next thing I'm going to talk about is convenience. So if you want to write, make it convenient. I have a YouTube thing set up in there so I can easily record, but I just put it over here because I'm an upholder. I'm going to record anyway. I have my monitor here to show me what my video looks like. I have this here, which is what this comes out of, to attach to my phone, and I have the tripod over there. I already had the monitor from Next Stock. This was like $20. That was like $20. So I can film anywhere, even though I film mostly in the office. It's convenient. You know what would be inconvenient? Having the webcam in one room, having this set up in a different room. So you have to move the thing there. That's the inconvenience. So what I did is I have Obsidian on every device that I regularly bring around. Then I have a sync thing. So like, no matter what device I have with me, I can write if I feel like it, right? I usually just write at certain times, but like it's convenient for me to be able to write whenever. And like for my tablet phone, right? Because it's post its Wi-Fi, it's post cell phone days. When it comes back onto the Wi-Fi, the sync thing will just automatically sync it with the rest of the stuff. And I'm usually on Wi-Fi after work, so it's gonna be fine. Like if my phone that actually I rock around with, which doesn't have the best dictation software, can't sync with that, oh well, for a few hours. But it's convenient for me to be able to write this down, right? Conversely, inconvenience, the opposite of that, is making it hard to do, right? So you don't want to have something happen, you don't do it. All right, let's talk about pairing. So somebody wanted to do some more fitness stuff. I do a little bit of walking when I dictate in the mornings. It helps me get ready, and then I've already walked a mile, and I've already, what's that, like 20 minutes? It takes like 25 minutes to walk a mile, slowly. I've already walked a mile, and I've already gotten like 1,000 words, 2,000 words easily. And I don't edit as I go. So if I'm pairing through things, I'm putting them at the same time. Like let's say that I like WandaVision, and I want to stay on the treadmill for half an hour on a 12% incline at 3.2 miles per hour, because that's like it's a fat burner right there. That will make you feel it. I will pair those two activities together, right? Or I'll pair like listening to my favorite ebook or my favorite audiobook and running, because I like running, but I also like listening to books. So I'm kind of motivated to do both, right? And this goes back to motivation is not going to be a panacea for you. You're not going to be able to do a career through motivation. It's just habits. And in order to make these habits, you have to start breaking the mold, right? So the just start thing, the clean slate. So let's say like January 1st or first of the school year or the first of the month, you have a clean slate, and now I want to not break the chain. I want to have no 0 days. So I just start checking off. Every day that I complete this task, I will check off something, right? This is the thing that works for questioners. The clean slate. And then, all right, I just need to write 100 words every day. If you write 1,000 words every day, you'll have 3 novels by the end of the year. If you write 500 words a day, you'll have like one and a half. But like if you just stay consistent with it. Coraline was written 40 words a night. Sir Terry Pratchett wrote 400 words a day. Do with that what you will. If you set your goal low and it's attainable, then you can definitely work with it. You can't work if you have a goal like 2,000 and you keep missing it, then it's kind of demotivational. But if you say I have no 0 days and I just want to observe and monitor, that's it. Monitoring. The thing I do with the obligers, is we do an accountability group, and every week they just check in. And I'm holding them accountable to actually do this stuff. And if they don't do the stuff, then we kind of like, hey, what's going on? Because something might be going on at home, but they need that outer accountability. You don't. You need the inner consistency. You need to understand it in a way that makes sense to you. And I'll give the example of my friend Sarah. She's a questioner. I was her coach at CrossFit for like years. I met her like 12 years ago. We're buddies now. She is an entrepreneur. She owned a massage therapy business for years. And she just transitioned to be a regular mental health therapist a few years ago, and she's loving it. But she knows what she's doing. The only thing I asked her to do is I said, you're a small business female entrepreneur. I would love it if you would like write a book about this. If not like a memoir, more like a how to run a small business. Because most small businesses fail within 2 years. 90% fail after 2 years, 50% fail after 1 year, which means the ones that survive over 5 years, like her business survived over 5 years, and then transitioned to a different business, like two different models. There's the same like client-centered model, but like she didn't want to have to. Her arms were hurting her. Like she's easily 110 pounds of muscle, and now she talks to people and she coaches them through their issues. But it doesn't make sense to her to write a book. And I'm like, it's very simple. I've written a nonfiction book that I will eventually publish. But to me, I'm like, okay, I'm writing the thing that I want to see in the world, right? To her, it's like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, okay, granted, I'd help you with it, but okay. And then my friend ASU, who has written over 18 million words, and then like 34 million if you include wikis. And I'm like, I'm sitting here like, I've written only 2 million words. I've written 14 books. 14. I just finished the 14th book yesterday, 2 days ago. There's only 3 that are available for purchase right now, which you can go and do a late backer pledge for my Kickstarter. There's only 2 that are available for purchase right now, because I'm like, all right, now I kind of have the thing. But like, I've been writing for 5 years. ASU has been invited for 20 years. I took it seriously around the time my son was born, and you can see like there's the water pad right there. I love it. I need to do that more often. Okay, so we had pairing and unpairing. Pair the things you want together. Unpair the things you don't, like sitting on the couch and eating chips and watching TV. So either eat the chips here at the table or watch TV. Do not pair them together if you don't want those two together. Then monitoring. Take a look at that. That's why we have accountability groups. It might not make sense to you to be in an accountability group, but that's what works. With a clean slate. So start each month with a clean slate. I do a 90-day. Just try to keep a habit for 90 days, and without changing anything. So write as much as you can in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes daily. See what that number is after 90 days. Then you try to up the number a little bit when you get more comfortable. And then it's cold in here. Clarity. Have clarity of what you're doing. You already know enough. I promise you 100%. You know enough to do it. So why don't you just try it? And then like here, I'm going to jump into fitness because they asked me to do a little bit of fitness thing. All right. So what I want you to do as a questionnaire is I want you to take a little notepad and write down your day, right? So my day is, and it's going to look like this. My day starts at 5:30. I wake up, I do some content. I write, I go for a walk, or I run, depending on the day. I have to run 3 days a week, coach's orders. And then I go to work like around 7:30, have breakfast, go to work. And then I'm work from like 9 to 4. At noonish, I'll go work out for an hour at the gym. That's not cardio. Well, it's endurance sometimes, but it's not cardio. And then I come home and then I have the kids until like they fall asleep around 8:39. So that's my day, right? So work. So let's talk about how I can add stuff in there. I can listen to stuff on my commute. I pair that a lot because I don't really care to drive for an hour without listening to something. So I kind of listen for pleasure there. I listen to podcasts. But if you're a student, you kind of control your day. So here's my idea. Eat the frog first, right? Do the hardest thing of the day. If you can get 2,000 words, 2,500 words, whatever it is your goal is, before the day starts, like my day's about to start, I get my 2,000 words in really soon, right after this. If you can get that before your day starts, then you're going to be like you're gonna already feel accomplished, right? So like for me, because this fitness is part of my job, I would say fitness is more important than writing. I'm also like ahead of my backlog, and I can write later, but I can't not run. And I ran yesterday, so today I'm not gonna run. I don't have to. So if you're saying, all right, I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write Batman. And the second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read or exercise, right? Or you could say like, hey, if you start off exercising, then you're gonna have the endorphins, you're gonna feel great, you're gonna wanna write. You're gonna come back home, you're gonna put on some lo-fi girl and listen to what you're doing. And this is orthogonal of whatever you're doing. Like you could be doing Zumba class, or you could be doing like a fitness HIIT class every morning, or you could just be going to the gym and lifting weights. But like the thing that you want to do that helps you with your goals, even if it's just walking on the treadmill uphill for a little bit most of the time, and strength training the other days, because everyone needs to strength train. You could do that. You could. I don't see why you wouldn't. But like, I'm a morning person, and unfortunately, while all the night people were sleeping, we got put in charge. So, work with that. Yeah, so eat the frog. That's my idea. That's my goal for you. If you're, especially you're in college, you're like, hey, I'm gonna be up late anyway. And then my final point is, let's say like you think you don't have the time. You have the time. So you're probably spending a lot of time scrolling. And I'm gonna grab my little thing here. The thing I recently learned is this in my phone case, because I'm filming with my phone over there. If you are finding yourself scrolling, I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes on my watch, right? And I'm gonna see, and it's watch or phone, whatever you got. I always have watch because military. Set a timer for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, see how you feel. Do you feel okay? Do you feel neutral? Or do you feel negative about the time you spent scrolling? And if you feel neutral or negative, then this is your like thing. Like, okay, I'm sitting down. How do I feel? Examine your feelings. If you could move on to something else at that point in time, but it's that distinct break in what you're doing that will help you understand that like you can stop. And I did that last week, and I've been doing that, and I feel better. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't really care to scroll anymore. I do talk to a lot on Discord, but I use the I don't allow pop-ups onto my phone, except for Signal and Textra. But I also like limit the amount of hours. So that's my idea. So take 5 minutes. Do I feel good doing this? Do I feel neutral? Do I feel bad? If you feel bad, I would say just stop. But if you feel good and neutral, you could do it again for another 5 minutes, and then like hit the alarm again. And like, because if it's not going anywhere, then like, why are you spending your time on it? Yeah. So that's my little spiel for questioners. I will do one for obligers next, and then I will have to do a mega one for rebels. Upholders, we know what we're doing. I've only ever met 2 upholder writers, but there's a unusual amount of rebels that want to be writers, or writer rebels. And I love you all, and I might be the guy that can help you get there. If you're a rebel, you can listen to my last vlog before that, before my series finisher. But I will do a rebel-only video next, after obligers, and I'll go on through some habits. All right, so thanks, besties, for listening. I'm gonna delete the other one after this is fully uploaded, do some quality controls, and no planes flying over. So have a great day, get some writing in, and in the comments, let me know if this helped and what you intend to do, or what you intend to work with. And then after a month or 90 days, come back and same comments, just let me know if it actually worked so I can update this. Toodles.